So I'm going to need a little bit of audience participation. I'm going to ask you to please raise your hand and keep your hand up if you are Hispanic or from Hispanic descent. Keep your hand up, please. I'm going to ask you again to please raise your hand if you are Hispanic or from Hispanic descent, but you are also vegetarian. Wait, why did everybody's hand go down when everybody just had their hand up? Why is there not a Hispanic vegetarian in here if there's so many Hispanics? Why is there no correlation between the two? For the past year, I have researched why there aren't many Hispanic vegetarians. I interviewed older Hispanics and I asked them simply, why aren't you vegetarian? The reason why I wanted to focus on this topic was because about 5 years ago, my brother was diagnosed with leukemia. Being as curious as I am, I wanted to know why he was diagnosed with leukemia. I wanted to know why my brother had this disease. Why? And I asked everybody under the sun, and nobody could really give me an answer because as of now, there is no specific cause for leukemia. Nobody can pinpoint and sit here and tell you, you did this or this happened because of this, and that's why you have leukemia. So as you can tell, I like asking why. So I came up with my own conclusion. I really do believe that the fatty and processed foods as a Hispanic I grew up eating really were the cause of his disease. I grew up eating pozole, beef tacos, chicken fajitas, tostadas, everything. So because of this, I changed my diet. For the past 5 years and a half, I've been trying to become vegetarian. For the last 2, I've actually been committed to being vegetarian, yay! But because of my change of diet, there were a lot of changes in social settings. So when I would go out with my family to like a barbecue or to like Sunday breakfast, I would get a lot of weird questions. A lot of the times it'd come from my relatives who were Hispanic. For an instance, one time my grandma sat down next to me and she was eating ceviche. And I, on the other hand, had my vegetarian version, which was made out of coconut meat. And she sat there and asked me, do you think you're white? Why are you not eating the food we made? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, do you think you're better than us? Like, are you not Hispanic anymore? And I sat there kind of dumbfounded and was like, oh my God, what am I gonna tell my grandma? Like, why does she think that I'm betraying my culture? And then I thought in my head, I think I'm more Hispanic than everybody because I'm trying and making an effort to find these alternatives just to be integrated back into my culture. So through my research, I learned that there were many factors to why people were not, or Hispanics were not vegetarians. A lot, I would say, I'm not going to say that they were closed-minded, but I would rather say that they were uneducated. A lot would ask, where's my protein? Where am I gonna get my protein from? I'm gonna become anemic. Where's my iron? But many didn't know that spinach and leafy greens and nuts actually have more protein per ounce than meat. Another thing that I realized and I learned through my research was that it was too expensive. And I understand this because Hispanics are the largest growing minority group. And it is hard to feed these mouths because in a sense, meat is cheaper. Because to be filled with fruits and vegetables is a lot more expensive because it takes much more than it does to be filled with meat. But then again, it is harder knowing that Hispanics are the most prone to obesity and diabetes. And it's even harder knowing that I get phone calls sometimes of my aunts and uncles knowing that they're really sick with diabetes and with high cholesterol, and it's all because of too much meat consumption. Being Hispanic, I know that we don't waste anything on the cow. I know we eat the tongue, we eat the tribes, we eat everything. We don't waste anything. But why does vegetarian have to be stigmatized with being white? Why does it have to be a white lifestyle? Why does it have that cultural stigma? I want my culture to last, but it's hard when everybody's getting sick. How can I have my culture lasting here if there's no people to keep it alive? I don't want to force anybody to be anything they don't want to be, but instead I want my culture and everybody else, I want to challenge everybody to be more adventurous with their recipes and allow for more dietary inclusive lists. Why don't we try new things and try new foods? I didn't know that food had an ethnicity. I didn't know that food had to be white. I didn't know healthy eating was white. I feel like all that matters in the end is to be happy and healthy because that's all that matters. Just remember to eat your fruits and vegetables. Thank you guys.